Hey guys, this is gonna be quite a long video. It's just gonna be me talking about the montage from an editing standpoint and going in and talking about all the tiny details that I did in a sort of behind the scenes type thing. So if you're not into that, don't worry about it. It's probably really boring and for me to just talk about this thing anyways. So if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. Click off of it. I won't judge you. I can see what the stuff will be boring. Okay, so I'm showing this to you all on one monitor. Traditionally, when I edit, I have two monitors. There's one over on the left side of my screen. But I can't really show it. I can't really record on two monitors, at least to make it easy for you guys to see things. But so like this is the whole timeline. Of course, I can't show this because I need to show the other stuff, like the actual preview monitor and the bins. But I can go back and forth between this view. So the one thing that I feel like you have a question about, because so this audio track is just a song. If I solo it, you can hear it. Right. So then what's this? What's this other track? Is this like a second song? Is this something else? So what I did was, when I first started to make this montage, is that I took the Believer remix and I re-exported it. I used an equalizer and I removed all the high frequencies and I left just the bass frequencies. So this is just the bass version of the song if you listen carefully. Ready? Skip ahead a bit. I know it may be kind of hard to hear. But yeah, so, and then I synced it up to the actual song. So if I need to cut something, if I need to have like, if the video needs to cut to the beat or something, there, bam, I have the actual bass like the actual waveforms of the song right there for me. And of course, when I export the song or I listen to it back, I don't want the extra bass. It sounds terrible, so I just disable that track for now. But that's there in case I need it. Another thing that I'll talk about later is why, like the video, at least this upper portion, all the video tracks, you see like V1, V2, V3, the video, and then audio is A1, whatever the hell, this sort of thing. Why are there so much more audio clips? Like, what the heck? All I can hear is the normal in-game audio, and I'll talk about that later. But so I go into what it has first. So of course, this has my typical SNFM logo. And then, just like the intro to all of our SNFM videos, the thing fades out and it cuts to the maps. And this is just me in a custom game as a spectator, just finding cool spots throughout maps and just holding S and just backing up. And I just put that into a video. One thing I want to note here is that with the statue on Ilios and the statue on Rialto are the same. So I noticed that and I tried to cut between the two like that. So it's kind of cool. And then here, I'm actually surprised how well the transition turned out. Like my goal was to go right into my Mei Hanamura clip. And it does. Like the perspectives almost entirely match up. It's quite surprising how well that worked out. And then of course the audio fades in. And the montage has its start. And then this is a simple transition I had, like that, bam. And for these external camera shots, like this thing, I just, again, went into a custom game, except this time I had to grab two friends. In this case, this is Andrew playing the soldier, and Charles plays the Ana, who sleeps Andrew at the end. So I just wanted to get, and I had this idea for a cool camera move. And this is just me in the spectator cam trying to fix it. And it took me a while because I had to get the right camera move and I had to time it right. And it looks quite nice. Okay, ready? Now. Ready. Okay, wait, get ready? Pop your ult. Sorry. Charles, sleep him now. That was good. So, I'm proud of that one. Sorry, that was my Discord. Don't worry about it. It was my Discord. I'll mute that later. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Alright, sorry about that, guys. And I just had to sync it up nice, and it looks cool. I think it looks cool. And then, of course, this is Charles played the on point. He slept Andrew, like that. And then I had a really nice, this transition took me like a whole hour to get through, but look at that. It swoops down. It's so nice. Woo! And I added some motion blur to it, too. Like, if you want to see what it looks like without the motion blur, it looks pretty bad. Hang on. So these are the keyframes I had to use, like this, and it just swipes down. If I remove the motion blur, which doesn't look like I can do right now, I'm confused. Oh, do I really? Okay, there you go. Like this, ready? So this is what it looks like without the motion blur. It looks weird. It just sort of just cuts. But the motion blur is definitely better. And then this Nick clip here, where he gets a triple kills Reinhardt, is where we start to actually talk about the audio for this, because if you look at it, it's quite extensive. And so, because for some of the clips, the audio is just fine. Like for these two, you can hear, like just solo the track. It sounds just fine, and I can use just that. It's just the in-game audio and the song, easy. But if you remember the Overwatch highlight system, right? If you're saving a highlight to your computer as like a video file, there's an option to turn off the music, because by default there will be the Overwatch play the game music there, and I love the music. It's great, but especially when I'm making a montage, you know, I want the option to not have the music, so I can add my own music on top of it. Of course, Nick, during this Ryan clip, he sort of forgot to do that. So if I go over here, this is what the actual in-game audio sound like. So you can hear the actual play of the game music in there. And that's a problem. So I had to go into Adobe Audition, which is like a separate audio editing program, and I had to try and remove some of the music, and I got this instead. So it gets rid of most of the audio, the music, right? But it sounds very washed out and muffled. Like if you listen to it, ready? Like, yeah, that's ugly. So I had to reconstruct all. I don't know. Okay, well, I had to reconstruct the entire clip in an audio sense. So I'm gonna mute the in-game audio. Okay, mute that. I'm gonna mute the song. So we're just getting just these clips that I've put together. Ready? Oops, my bad, guys. We're gonna see how this turns out. You ready?
Push forward.
Like that. And most of these clips are just me going into a custom game and just recording the sound of Reinhardt putting up his shield in this clip. Right? I just synced it with when Bam puts up his shield. This clip is the sound of him putting down his shield. It's very soft, but you know, tiny details. And then, of course, this clip is just the sound of Reinhardt fire striking. And then, yeah, so I just like basically reconstruct the entire clip from audio. And what's this one, actually? What's this one? Oh, just the sound of him getting, it's the dink. And like this one, what's this sound?
Triple kill. Push forward.
Yeah, so the triple kill, I just recorded that separately. And so, because you can't really hear that in the game, and I want the audience to hear that triple kill resonate. So, and like these two, and then this is the sound of Reinhardt swinging. This clip right here. So I just basically reconstructed the entire clip in an audio sense, so you can hear it better. So I can control which sounds you want to hear more, right? So yeah, that's pretty cool. And so I said another, just a normal transition like that. Bam. If you can't tell, actually, look at this. I have a radio wipe. So it's like this. So traditionally, it would just cut like this. So it would just like it's like a clock how it would transition. And I added this offset where it just like scrolls really fast and it comes back down. And of course, I had to time a lot of this montage is about timing things. Like we get the master of Masio. Ooh, when it says that, Marco gets the kill on the far, you can hear it like that. Bam. And I had just a little, it like zooms in, gets a fisheye bit of effect, and I RGB split the clip to get a bit of a punch. And how I did that was, so I took the clip and duplicated it 3 times, and basically each clip is a separate RGB value. So look, it's like, see, like, so this is the red channel, and this is the blue channel, you know what I mean? So I can, so like that, and then I can just wiggle them around like that, just wiggle them around. and we're good. So yeah, that's and I use the RGB effect a lot in the montage. It's nice. And then here when he shoots it, of course, this is just the in-game audio, right? We'll listen to just the in-game audio. So that's not enough, obviously, and so I just have these. I didn't. It's not as extensive as Nick's clip, but these two clips you'll hear. Clearing the area. I just had the clearing the area effect, just the voice line, and I went to a custom game again and just recorded the sound of far using a concussive blast. Clearing the area. Like that, just to give it a bit more punch. And this is just another external camera shot I had. This was Massimo actually, and Preston just booped him off the edge. As just like that, just to get a nice, you can see right here, the Orisa gets, we'll zoom in actually, I'm sorry guys. You can see the Orisa gets booped off like that, and we cut back to the Orisa like that.
Which direction should I be facing? Or does it not matter?
That was better.
That works.
Alright, drop out, Preston. Just drop to the ground. Yeah, you're good, okay. So just a nice, just to spice things up, and actually, what we had to do for this shot was, so this is just the raw clip, right? Now you notice one issue is the fact that Preston's up there. And he booped Moss, and it was great and all, but like we can't have Preston there. So what I had to do was I had to mask him out. So I had to block him out from the shot. So like here, look at defense. Actually, I'll just scroll this over. What I had to do was I had to cut him out. So I took a bit of the photo, and I took this mask, right? So if you just look at, it's like a cookie cutter. I cut out a bit of the sky, cut out a bit of the image, and I just plaster it on top of the clip. So I have to block out Preston as he goes, right? So without the clip, this is what it looks like. So without the cookie cutter, Preston. So I have this little block of the sky, like this, but it's on top of Preston. So I just cut him out of the photo. Like that, so that's just covering him up, and then this, and then what's this one actually? I don't know. Oh, this is just the blocking out. This is there to block out the trail of the this thing, the trail of the concussive blast. But yeah, so I had to do that. I probably could have just asked Preston to stand out of shot, but I just, why not? I had to block him out of the shot. So there's that. And so this is an example, right? I was broken from a young age, and then I had the boop. I just added a little bit of blur, just a little bit of a tiny bit of zoom. If I remember, just zoom just a little, just to add a bit of punch. And of course, this is one of the things where I comboed it with my ult, because then I jumped down. There I am, and I ult. And here's yet again another example. So here is just again custom game, record the sound of Lucio boop like that, and then here I add, this is just the sound of Reaper's shotguns. I just went to a game, of course, and then turned down the slider for voice line, so I didn't get Reaper's ult line in it as well. I just record the sound of just Reaper's shotguns. Like that. And then this is just the sound of Athena saying double kill. Double kill. And what's this? What is this sound effect? Double kill. That's just the sound of me going on fire. Oh, let's get rid of that. So that's just the on fire sound effect. Just I don't know, more punch, make it more exciting. And then this is another thing where I had to cut, right? They look at me, shaking me, singing me, feel it from. And then this from the Creoles, JP, cut. And then also, here's another super small detail. The actual clip, this was taken from, it wasn't a highlight, but you can see someone was talking in chat. And I have no issue with it, but just it gets in the way. So I just cut out a little bit of the wall and I pasted it on top of the chat. So there you go, see? Tiny details. And then there you go, we get the quadruple kill. I added a quadruple kill sound effect there, and I also added it's high noon separately, this one.
It's high noon.
Like that. And then with the Moss Hog ult, what I did again was just recorded the sound of Hog ulting, just separately. Like that. No big deal, just it's there. And then combined with the in-game audio as well, like right here, just this. I don't know. It just adds a bit of punch, I guess. God, I'm gonna be saying that a lot, right? I'm gonna be saying just adds a little bit of punch. This clip was really nice. I liked how it gets to the you make me, where it goes up into the and slows down. Like that. Oh, I might. Oops. So this is just the in-game audio, what I have right now. Ready? Like that. And it's not much. Of course, it's not what you hear in-game. You hear a lot more than that, which is all this stuff. So if you listen just to the song and the in-game audio, you get this. It's not much. So what I had to do was, oops, my bad. What I had to do was I downloaded some free sound effects like these two. This is just it's like a bass. It's just a nice It's actually just from the Believer, the bass version of the Believer thing. I just took that. It's like it's a nice bass effect, and then this one it's like a slow. It's like that stereotypical slow motion effect, like that one. So I took those both and combined them, and you get this nice little thing. Oops. And it helps give it a sense of slowing down, like combined with the actual song. It helps because just having the raw song itself, it's not enough. At least I don't think so. So it gives you like a sense of slowing down time. And then these two clips are the sound effects for the clip if you listen to them. So this clip right there, I love that sound. It's the sound of him getting the kill. And then this clip was just the sound of Junkrat tossing out his concussion mine. You listen carefully. Let me get louder. Just that super tiny sound effect. When you add it into everything else, it makes it a lot better. And then so this is just me slowing things down. And this is a speed ramp, so it slows down and it speeds right back up into normal time. And I'll talk about how I use slow motion a lot in this montage. I'll talk about how I do that later. And also, let me go back. This is how I don't know if I talked about this before. I actually don't remember. I've had to record this before, which sucks. But these are all the footage I've used. It's a lot. But I organize it by person. So I have a folder for all of Andrew's clips, folder for all of my clips, folder for all of Charles' clips, folder of John, JP, Justin, whatever, right? And even up here, it's like in your web browser, Google Chrome. You have your tabs, Charles, John, Justin, whatever, and I can drag things out onto a timeline. I'm not gonna do that because I just replaced everything. And these blue icons tell you if the clip's been used in the actual timeline. So like this video, the blue video symbol means the video's been used. The blue audio symbol means the audio's been used. Of course, Justin's Hanzo, well, only the video's been used 4 times apparently. So yeah, and then there's that, and it just cuts to Justin getting another nice boop kill. Again, I add the same blur effect to before, and what do you know? The same boop. Just to help it out, you know. And then here's another swipe. I love it. Just nice. It just smoothly pans up, and this is me getting a nice riptire kill. And here, the audio for my clip extends over just a bit because Honest has a voice line here. If you listen, like that, he says the something like that. But I wanted to extend that because it'd be just awkward if it just stopped, right? So I just extended just a little bit. And then here's another zoom in, and she gets a sick pin. And this was a very hard clip to do as well, mainly because of the fact that Nick's audio. This wasn't taken from a highlight system. This is just taken from a YouTube video, like in the Eichenwald video. And the audio for it really sucked. If I bring this thing down again, you can listen to it. Just the raw audio.
Genji on point.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry, that was kind of loud. But like you can barely hear the audio. You just hear our voices.
Genji on point.
You can't even hear like the kill sound. So this was quite difficult since I had to even more so reconstruct the audio. So there's this sound effect, which is the sound of. Did I solo something else? I did. My bad. Here, so just the ding. No, this is the sound of Mercy dying. I just recorded a sound effect in the custom game again of Mercy dying. So the like that. There we go. And then this is a Rhine charge I recorded separately. And then again, the sound effect of Rhine's fire striking. And then this is and then this was the dink here, right? And this is the actual audio of Nick freaking out. The I just like to add that in because I don't know, it's nice to hear them reaction to the whatever sick play they made. And then I had this transition here because Nick, this highlight takes place on Eichenwald, and the next highlight takes place like the two highlights are sort of close to each other. I wanted to have a transition that could sort of just like accentuate that. And so if you want to know what this is, I have it disabled. But if you listen to just the song, we'll listen to it. You're the believer. Like the it's like the hi hat or whatever. That sound effect. I didn't use it. I ended up not using it, but I do this for a lot of montages as well. I use an online website where you can find the BPM, stands for beats per minute, like the tempo of a certain song. I find it, and then what I do is I go on YouTube and download the BPM metronome of that. So here, what is this clip? I want to find. What is this? This is 382 BPM. So this is just the metronome. Right? So, and it matches the song. So if I need to, if I want to cut to the, I have it right here. I can add a cut there, add a cut there, add a cut there. So I have the metronome right there with me. Right? So that's nice. Of course, I don't need it. I don't want that during the actual montage, so I just disabled it there. And so this clip, it's like a cliffhanger, right? So with the whole and here it zooms in, but not only does it zoom in, it also distorts like a bit fisheye. It like fisheyes in, like it distorts, and also that RGB, trusty old RGB effect, and the effect becomes larger and larger, and then bam, it cuts to black, and it zooms back out. It's RGB. It's the reverse. So instead of getting more intense, and it cuts to black, cutting from black, it gets more intense, and then the effect goes down, just back to normal. And then Charles pops off, gets his ult up. And here I had to get another external camera angle of just Charles ulting above the payload, and I just panned around him, and I cut to the all words inside my. I cut to that, which is a bit difficult because the cuts are so fast. And here's Charles getting another sick Widow clip. Bam, and the headshot sound effect is added in as well, like that. And then what's this? Quadruple kill? Yeah, add that in. And so just a lot of little snippets of audio that just make it more crisp, you know? I can't really you know what I mean. It makes it better. It makes it a much better experience with all the little audio accentuating the song. And I had just a little bit of like a bubble effect. I don't know exactly what to call it. Like balloons in size. And then now I'm quite proud of this transition as well. Basically, with Justin's thing, the turret comes in, and then the rest of the clip fades in. So what I had to do was, and this is very painful, I had to take this, right? So we're gonna get rid of all the other layers. I had to take Justin's bashing clip, and I had to cut it out like a cookie cutter, frame by frame, cut out this block. So little by little, frame by frame, I had to trace around the thing. And it's like, because like, look at, there's like little plants and trees and like, wait, hang on a sec. Look at it, there's like little plants and trees and stuff. I had to trace around that. And so frame by frame, I had to cut around that. And then it settles into place. And so that was just the block, of course. Then I had to cut out the turret, but that's a lot easier than like that whole thing. So I had to do that as well. And so, and then, so that's how I did it. It's really nice. And sort of, you can see it sort of just comes in its place, and bam, the rest of the clip fades in. So, and this was, fun fact, this Justin Bastion clip you're about to see was the first clip I edited for this video, because when I heard the Believer remix, I had that vision in my head where it was like, oh, it's gonna be this cool, you know, thing. I just envisioned that, and then it's just nice little, makes it a little brighter, just to, I don't know, when the turret locks down into position, makes it a little bit more fun, I guess. And then he ults, and if you listen to the actual in-game audio, the first shot gets masked out by his ult line. See that? There's no. So I had to, you know what I did? Went back into a custom game, recorded those sound effects, like you're here. Like there, and I add another one there, so like that. Oh my god, I bet. So I had to do that, and then so he goes off ults, and then again in slow motion, he goes back in, turret extends, and the boom boom boom, make me out, like this, like that. That's pretty sick. And then of course, bam, I added a bit of a zoom and the RGB colors. If you look at it a bit more closely, right, the. And then I added another on fire sound effect. Like that. And I just keep shooting. And I'm quite lucky actually that the kill on the Zenyatta matched up with the song. Listen. And that's pretty cool. And then of course add a similar RGB effect like that. It's quick, but it's nice. And then I transitioned into the next clip with the turret again. You know what I did? I had to cut out the turret. And then it just moves off to the side, acts like a wiper, wipes the screen up, and then you get Marco's clip like that. And in this clip, because like the Believer, like this weird like part where like it gets, you know what I mean. But I decided to add a little bit of just movement, weird distortion-y thing. It's not too much, so it like doesn't like take you out of it, but I have that there. And then just a nice swipe transition to the down, like that. And then same thing with the boom, boom, boom. Make me those three booms I like to cut to. And most of this clip again was done in the audio. So these two clips right here. And I recorded the two separately. I recorded just the sound of Reinhardt ulting, and I recorded and I have his hammer down voice line separately. I did that just in case I wanted to have more flexibility. If I wanted to make his hammer down line higher, I can do that. I can make it louder without adjusting the sound of the hammer down. Because if I recorded them both at the same time, I can't do that, right? And so this is again another charge sound effect. There you go. And so. And the audio is fine. It's fine, but you know, having the other audio helps. And then a zoom in, and then this one was so hard to do because it pulses like a boom, bum, bum, bum. Again, you know what I did? Two audio clips right here. The headshot, the sound of the arrow releasing, and the Mercy death, I think. Like that, see? I have to record that one separately, but that's there as well. And then this next clip was Preston. I noticed, I put this into the timeline, I noticed that he's swinging. The way he swings is to the beat. You listen to it carefully. Again, he like swings to the beat of the song. And the reason why I cut away from the clip so quickly was because he check this down. He died right after. If you look at it. Oh, sorry. I'll make it longer. Like that. He just died right after, and it's just kind of awkward when that sort of thing happens. So I just had to do that. And I just cut right into, and I actually had to speed up the clip a little bit. This clip was sped up by what, 108%. The standard is 100% default speed. I had to increase this clip to 108% to make sure that the swing on the Mercy was in time, because it's a little bit slower than actual. So just a little. And then it goes into this nice Owen clip where he gets a double haul in the tanks. And surprisingly, I didn't have to do any audio editing. The audio from the in-game clip is good enough. And then I had some nice fade out to white into Nick's Diva clip, and he ults, and then I added just a nice little RGB effect. Once again, look at that. Ready? There you go. Sweats up. I was broken, and then I had to speed this up. I speed this clip by a lot, 113% actually, up from 100%. Where the second the Diva mech hits the ground, Ryan Reynolds, no, not Ryan Reynolds, Dan Reynolds, the singer for Imagine Dragons, he says ground. If you listen again, ready? I was broken in the ground. It's a nice detail. I wanted to do that, so I had to speed up the clip a little bit. And here it comes, the famous, the notoriously hard to make Diva clip transition, where basically there's nested sequence inside nested sequence where, you know it, I had to cut out. It's like a cookie cutter. Once again, I had to cut out the inside, and there's so many tiny things. Holy shit! This took me like 10 hours to make, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Okay, so basically what's happening here? So I want to like cut out this space in the middle, like take it out. So I have this little mask. It's basically like a cookie cutter. So like cookie cutter, like I cut out this section to replace with a different video. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see that I just, these are just individual nodes, like parts. I call them nodes. I think that's what you can manipulate to make a shape. So I cut them out like this, right? So I can zoom in further, right? But so I'll match them up, right? Just perfect like that. Then next frame, because like, videos are composed by frames. So go to the next frame, and of course the mask doesn't fit, so I have to readjust it. And of course it's not perfect, so I have to move these nodes back. And repeat, frame by frame. and then of course this was just the middle part. There's these whole 2 other side panels that I had to do, so I had to go back and do those. Bam, here's the other one, and do the other one as well. Now what really upsets me though is that hang on a sec, I'll show you guys. Okay, ready? Throwback to the season 4 montage, which is the first montage that I made. You'll look at this. So there's this one clip. This is the first time I did this transition where Andrew gets a sick Diva kill, right? He gets a quad, awesome, and then he gets into the neck, right? And I did this transition before, except look what happens. Ready? The clip, ready? It keeps going, frame by frame, ready? It keeps going, 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 it keeps going. And disappears, right? It goes completely out of frame. But then you compare it to this to the stuff now, which I'll show you, the raw Nick clip he got. I'll show you. Look at this. Ready? Look at this. Ready? And then this has been happening with all the Diva clips. Ready? Instead, nowadays, look what it does. Ready? It's going, and look, it just fades out. It just fades to black. And I've noticed this even with the season 6 and 7 montage. That same thing happened where instead of like now it fades out, and I don't know why, and I hate it because like I don't have a reference point anymore for cutting it. So now I just have to like when it starts to fade out, I just have to like expand the mask, like just I don't like that. Like, why did it stop fading out? I don't get it. But anyway, that's a small thing. The Zarya clip again. I had to reconstruct a lot of the audio here. I had to get, what's this? The sound of it. This is the sound of Nick getting back into his mech. But like a lot of this stuff, this is the sound of Justin reloading as Zarya. It's the sound of Justin reloading even before the clip shows up. What's this? Like, that's the sound of the graviton surge. This is the sound of Justin firing a right click. Like that, just tiny stuff because the audio for this clip was not very well usable. Look at it, ready?
Right behind us, right behind us. Right.
Like, it's barely usable, there's like no audio, so I had to reconstruct a lot of it, but it's not too bad. And this is just me cutting again, the first time I did it with McCree ults, now I'm doing it with Reaper ults, and the dies were there, and so I had to use the in-game audio for this, if you listen. And then here, I had to use the sound of Reaper's shotguns. Of course, Reaper's ult does not last that long, so I had to loop it. Like that. And here, again, it's my trusty metronome again. I look at it again. So I combine it with the actual song. Come on, you get this. Right, so it helps me cut to that. Okay, and then just like with Charles, as you know, when you're done with Reaper's ult, you go into it, and I helped accentuate that by zooming into the next clip, and this is just me getting. Oh, I remember this clip. This is so cool. I did this on stream too. If you guys are watching that stream, and again, I use the same those two slowdown effects to help really sell that effect home, and then this instead of me throwing my nade. It's really small. I'll make it louder so you guys can hear in case you guys couldn't be able to hear it. Like that. It's very small, but it's there. Again, this two clips were like Nick, and then it combos it with a JP highlight. The audio for this was unusable, so I had to basically reconstruct everything again in an audio sense. So look, here's this hammer down, blah blah blah. Here's the earth shatter. Here's the sound of Nick charging. Oh no, wait, this clip, this audio is the sound of JP's ult. Like that. And what I had to do was I actually made the clip like here. I made the clip louder because it's showing it from his perspective, and when I cut to Nick, I lowered the volume of the whole hog because it's cutting to Nick's perspective. The whole hog sound effect isn't as loud. And then here's a clip of Nick charging. And look at this. As Nick starts to charge away. So here, the audio fades out because Nick is charging away. So the audio gets softer. And when you cut to Nick, the audio gets louder again. Listen to that again. Like that. Tiny details. And then what's this clip? Oh, right. This is him using a fire strike. And then so here's a clip of Nick. This is the actual audio from the clip, but I just use it just to get JP's reaction.
Yes.
Like that. And then here's a nice clip of Charles getting a really nice Widow kill. And oh my god, it's so slow. It's beautiful, isn't it? And I, of course, use a nice little RGB effect again. Bam. And I transition because I use the Widow reload animation to transition into the next effect. Like, bam, they match up perfectly. And then again, I didn't use an RGB effect this time. I used it's called color emboss effect. It like makes it more rigid. I don't know. It's cool. It's cool. Okay, it's all you gotta know. Bam, and then I had to do a bit of magic to try to get the kills believer. Like he gets a kill believer, and then bum bum. So like that. Again, the boom boom boom. I love cutting to those. It's so cool. Again, RGB effect. Look at that again. It makes it so much better. And then here's another scroll, and then a Justin Doomfist clip. RGB effect. Once again, look at that. It's great. I love it. And then right when Justin's about to rocket punch, of course, he can't kill this Reinhardt because the Reinhardts don't spawn. But I use that to zoom into the next clip, right? Here's another clip of JP. I love this is just completely coincidental, but I love it. The fact that when he says all words inside, when he says the word all, he tilts down. It's great. It times it so well. And I just wanted to end this thing on a cliffhanger. If you guys don't know, if you in the teaser trailer I made for the montage, I used, if I can find it, I have a lot of my own Reaper clips. Sorry, not Reaper clips. This one. I used this clip. I wanted to end the montage on a cliffhanger. I thought about using this one where I get like a flank shatter, right? And I'm about to hit it, right? and it cuts to black or whatever, you know. And for the longest time, I was going to use that to end the montage. And I ended up using this in the promotional teaser trailer, which I'm sorry that wasn't actually in the montage. I apologize for that. Yeah. So then I decided to use a nice Hanzo wall because I feel like that was better. And I waited until, because just from this perspective, it doesn't look like there's a lot of people in that grab. It looks like, oh, it's like a Reinhardt Zarya, you know? But then the ult starts to go through, the dragons start to appear, and then you see the health bars. You see like 5 health bars in there, and you're like, oh shit, it's about to get real. And then, bam, it glitches out, and it cuts to black, and then the montage ends. So it's just a nice glitch effect I had. That, bada bing, bada boom. And then the SNI Found logo appears, and it fades back out. So yeah, and then that's just the outro I made, if you guys remember that one. So that's basically me going through the timeline. I know it was probably super boring. I appreciate you if you watched the whole thing, but I'm going to talk about one more thing, which is the I forgot what I was going to say. It's how I get the slow motion. But yeah, so the Bastional, Justin's Bastion, was the first thing I do. Whenever I start with these montages, I always start from the chorus, like the big drop, when the music drops and stuff happens, the big highlights, and then I start from here, and then I just build my way out. I work my way outwards, then I finish the whole chorus, then maybe I work on the first verse, and in fact, like usually it's the outros, the beginning and the ends are usually the things I work on the last. Surprisingly, I just work my way out. I start from the chorus, the first chorus. I finish the chorus, then I may go into the verses, maybe the second chorus, and just work my way out. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy that. Here's the whole timeline. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's like a work of art. All the audio and whatnot. So I'm gonna talk about the how I did the slow motion, and then we'll end it. So, for example, let's talk about which one can I use? How about I use this Charles one, right? We'll use this sick Charles. Play. So what I do is, so if I want to export a clip in slow motion, I take what I want to export it. So I have this whole bucket, not a whole bucket, a bin of slow-mos, right? So I have, where is it? Here it is. So I use a program called Adobe After Effects, because I use Adobe. So the 4 programs I used to edit this montage were Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe After. So Adobe Premiere Pro, that's mainly for video editing. That's most of the montage. It's a program I'm using right now. Adobe After Effects, and that's more for visual effects. And I use that for all the slow-mos, the extreme slow-mos. Adobe Audition, which is an audio editing program. I use that to edit some of the audio effects and whatnot. And Adobe Media Encoder, which I use to just render out and encode some clips I need to do. But so let me hang on a sec, guys. Okay, so this is After Effects. So basically, I take the clip that I want to have slow-mo. This is what it is, right? Ta-da, bam, 6 shot. So I don't know exactly After Effects. I'm not very good at it. I really want to get better at it. I don't really know all the who now and what about the program exactly, which sucks because I want to get to know it better. But basically, there's there's all different effects you can do, right? There's one effect called Twixtor Pro or Twixtor, and it's a plugin. It's not one of the default After Effects effects, but it's you can download it online. And basically, it's really good at interpolating frames, basically just making up new frames and slowing things down a lot. So I'm going to change the input frame rate to 60 frames because that's what it's at. And then so I can change the speed down to, 10%? And so if I drag this out, this is what you get. Hang on a sec. Wait, it's got to render. Okay, so basically, so this is what 10% looks like. Now, sometimes the effect looks good, other times it doesn't. Like this, it's not perfect, Sometimes it can get really wave warpy, but there are times, like here, where it works beautifully. It's great. Of course, if there's not much going on on screen right now, but especially like here where you're turning the corner and there's a lot of work to be done with like frames, it gets quite yucky. So this gets very difficult to do, but when there's not much going on, it's like a still frame, it can work beautifully. And then so I just take this clip, export it, bring it back into Premiere, and yeah, and so I can manipulate it there. But so that's for the most part how I do the slow-mo effect. It's not perfect, so if there are clips where I'm like, no, that wouldn't, the Twixtor wouldn't work, then I don't use it. But yeah, so that is it, guys, for this super long behind-the-scenes look at the montage. I hope you guys liked it. And I hope you guys liked the montage. Check out the other behind-the-scenes videos. I'll put those both on screen right now. So we'll have, okay, so there's the montage. There's the other behind-the-scenes video. And then we'll have the playlist for the other montages that I've made in the past. So, yeah. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. If you watched the whole thing, you're awesome. I don't know how you could listen to me talk for, like 40 minutes straight. But yeah. See you guys.